Hey everyone, it's Chris Barnes from the East Brunswick Public Library podcast, back with another episode of Read, Watch, Listen, where we find out what people in our community have been enjoying here at East Brunswick Public Library. Our special guest today is Maritza Egoavil. She is a library associate here at the library. Maritza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you, Chris?
Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you for being on this show. You're a library associate, so our library customers might recognize you. You hang out at the reference desk. So, what exactly does a library associate do?
I help out with finding books, how to use the computer, get faxes through, a bunch of things. So pretty much like what do they call it? A Swiss Army knife of skills to help people. And I also do consumer health.
Very cool. And actually, if any of our listeners want to learn more about our health initiative, you can find out more information at justforthehealthofit.org. So anyway, let's get into the start of it. This is Read, Watch, Listen, where we're going to ask you what you've been reading, watching, and listening. So Maritza, what have you read recently that you liked?
So I tend to read short form lately. I'm trying to I guess, get into more long form reading. And so I've started with Heartstopper. I think I'm on volume 3 right now. It's very cute. I first got introduced to Heartstopper with the show on Netflix. And so I decided to pick up the graphic novels, and those are really good. I'm also just starting again to read Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. It's a dystopian science fiction novel, first in what was planned to be a long series, but she unfortunately passed away before she could complete the third part of the series. So I'm very happy to restart this book because I'm having trouble with long form reading currently, but it's very good.
No,
I,
no, I totally get that. You're talking to someone who is regularly reading graphic novels all the time. And so I
oh,
think, yeah,
You'll actually find that the Parable of the Sower book was more recently turned into a graphic novel adaptation, believe maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that's pretty cool. I want to try out the graphic novel after I finish the actual novel.
sounds good. And I think our next question is going to segue into what have you been watching since you were mentioning some stuff that you've been liking on Netflix. So, what have you been watching recently?
So for movies, I've been doing more TV shows than movies lately. I just find them more captivating. There's more things to grasp onto there with TV shows compared to movies. And so for movies, the most recent one that I really liked, and people can find it on Canopy as well. It's a movie from Brazil, so it's in Portuguese, called Alice Jr. And it's about a teenage girl. She's trans, and she moves to a new town, and she's trying to make friends, and not necessarily just with her own personality, not having to fit into any kind of specific mold or any kind of peer pressure to not be herself. She embraces all that she is, and she wants to bring that to this really small conservative town that she moves to. She doesn't back down without a fight.
That sounds interesting. And I'm going to put a cheap plug in here for Canopy. East Brunswick Public Library customers, you can check it out. There's all kinds of foreign films, independent films, classics, and you can get them for free all by signing up for your library card. To get started, go to canopy.com. All right. And last but not least, Maritza, what are you listening to?
I listen to a lot of things all over the place with music. I love a variety of things. I've been getting back into some albums and bands that I've known for a while and I love. There's a Spaniard band from Basque Country. Their name is Oreja de Van Gogh, and they're very much Spanish pop. And I've been getting back into them. And newer albums, Ella May, she does R&B. Then I also am kind of bumped into some playlists on Tidal because I have a Tidal subscription. And they had a lot of really cool playlists for Native American Heritage Month. And one of the playlists is called Vintage Indige, which I thought was a really cool play on the words. And they had some really good songs on there, one of them being from a band called Blackfoot. And I really wish I had heard their music sooner. I'm getting introduced to different kinds of facets of Native American music because I've heard some, but you just don't realize how many different genres they play around with. And so I'm really happy with these playlists that I found.
Pretty interesting. Is there anything else that you would like to recommend while we have you on the show?
Well, for TV shows, since I said I watch more TV shows than movies, Dead to Me, they just dropped their season 3 on Netflix, and I was able to watch the entire thing. I actually started from the beginning. I rewatched seasons 1 and 2, really good, tight writing, and season 3, I just bawled my eyes out. I
No.
won't spoil it for anybody, but it's for different reasons that you can cry and laugh, and it's dark comedy. I really like it. I also just started watching Wednesday that just dropped halfway through that. It's really good. I think everybody should watch Dead to Me and Wednesday.
Now, were you a fan of the previous versions of the Adams Family, or were you going in completely fresh?
I can't say I was like a diehard fan, but I did know quite a bit of them. And I always loved Gomez, Morticia, and Pugsley and Wednesday. And I love Raul Julia's Gomez in the 90s movies. To me, he was like the perfect Gomez. And I
Yeah.
believe Jenna Ortega is the perfect Wednesday.
Very cool. All right. Well, Maritza, thank you so much for helping us. And next time you're at East Brunswick Public Library, you can see her at the reference desk where she will be happy to provide you with any of the information services you need. You can check out the rest of the East Brunswick Public Library podcasts on www.ebpl.org/podcast. Make sure you leave a rating. We love them. It helps to get into the algorithm and the better feeds. And next time we'll see you at the library. I'm Chris Barnes, and thanks for listening.